Hey, hey, hey. I'm back again. Y'all are so lucky. This is an impromptu live. We are going to talk something through really quick. I'm waiting on people. How's everyone's Friday night? Oh, there we go. Okay, y'all. I'm here. Hold the applause. Hey, Punkette. Punkette. Hey, Pointer Lover. I need to talk something through with you guys, and I can't type it anymore. So we're just going to talk it through here. Okay. So if you saw my post, I actually just asked Les about this, or this little group chat I'm in. So there's a couple things interesting. If you did not hear what Brian Enton just released, he had given a quick interview with Pat Riley, who is not the NBA coach, but the lawyer for the Petitos. Apparently, there is pretty concrete evidence that we don't know about that the Petitos filed the lawsuit, that, hey, Rebellious, that the Petitos did in fact know. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We know that Steve Bertolino is the one that released the journal today. Okay, everybody's questioning why they did that. They didn't know if that was to garner sympathy or whatnot. But in response to that, Riley then has come forward and wants to know why Bertolino hasn't released everything. Okay, what's interesting about that now is I think some things are going to start to be dropped that we didn't know about. So apparently, Roberta, wrote Brian a letter. According to Pat Riley, which is again the Petito's lawyer, it is undated. It was found in the van. It was found in the house of the Laundries. However, it came from the van. So the Laundries got it out of the van, apparently, or whatever. It is now in the FBI possession. Hey, Aussie crime. Apparently, the outside of the letter, and Pat Riley did get to read it. It is not in his possession at this time, but it is alleged that on the outside of the letter, it says burn. He believes Pat Riley can't guarantee, he can't say exactly when it was written. However, he does feel for certain that it was written between Gabby's death and Brian's death. Okay. Based on the fact that they found it in the van, it's safe, it'd be pretty realistic to assume that he must have gotten it before, but who knows, who knows when he could have hid it in the van, who knows. But apparently, according to Petito's lawyer, it is alleged that in this letter, Roberta offers to assist Brian in some extreme things. That is all Riley was comfortable with sharing unless he has the letter in his possession. I mean, that's pretty substantial. So we don't know exactly what these extreme things are. Now, I've been waiting. I'm hoping to get some doctors to weigh in here, or people in the medical field. So, it is also alleged that there's another confession typed out. Hey, the scoop with Barb. Yeah, the scoop with Barb. Hey, Brittany. So, yeah, my only thing, Barb. So I'm taking a look, and I have somebody looking into this for me. Taking a look at this autopsy, and there is just something. So his sister tried to claim that he was left-handed, right? That is not correct, okay? Because you can tell just by the journal writing that that was a right-handed person, because there's way too much of a slant in the one direction to be. Sorry, one second. She's no, in a second. I'm on a live. Shut the door. Excuse me. There is the slant. Plus, I've looked at several pictures. He's holding his chopsticks with the right hand. He's carving an apple with his right hand. And I know those seem to be minor things, but all I can say is that, I mean, come on, we use our dominant hands, okay? Hey, cotton candy boobs. But what is interesting in the autopsy is the entrance wound is in the right temporal cranium. All right. Well, when I looked up where that was, and if you saw my picture in the community post, that's down like way behind your jaw, right? And it exited up into the right, I think it's called parietal or something, uh, cranium. In the it would look to be the middle, right? So that would make sense based on where the entrance is. Um, so my question to doctors or to whoever is it common in your field that you see that I can't say the word because I don't want to trigger the algorithm. You see that manner of death done in kind of such an awkward way to use the right hand to go reach all the way around to the left, if that makes sense. I understand I'm sure it's very common that he might have used his left hand. I get it, but the question would be why. Um, that part perplexes me a little bit. And is it common for a self-infliction to be in that area of the head, if that makes sense? Now, I don't, I'm not a doctor, so that's why I really wanted to weigh in on, a medical, whatever, somebody's opinion that knows more than me, which there isn't many. I'm just kidding. Oh, wow, Brittany. Um, so then when this is okay, not everything's a conspiracy, okay, but I'm just going to throw this out there, guys, okay? For the longest time, I thought Dad knew it all right? But now I'm not so sure. I kind of wonder if Dad was left in the dark about a lot of things, including this, and Roberta was actually running the show with Brian. Okay, Pointer Lover. That's exactly what I thought, Pointer Lover. So it was an easier pill for me to swallow. Oh, that was kind of a bad use of words. When I thought it was, the right to the left up into the temple. So it still bothers me that Brian only mentions his mother in the letter and his nephews, which is you can tie his sister with his nephews, okay? And never mentions his father. So I got to thinking, and again, we're just throwing things out. This doesn't mean I believe it. I don't think we have enough. When Riley said that Roberta offered some extreme things to offer some assistance to extreme things, I couldn't help but wonder what Roberta's height is. Do y'all see what I'm getting at? Hey, Rena. Yeah, Brittany. Do you guys see where I'm going with this without saying it? If Roberta was shorter than Brian, how extreme are we talking? Do you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to say too much because I don't want to trigger anything. But yes, where we, based on the wound entrance and exit, it would seem pretty pretty doable for somebody to shorter to do something in that nature and to be the one to venture off. And okay, good, you guys get where I'm going, to venture off and be the first one to discover where the body is. I mean, I'm telling you, I've been reading that autopsy nonstop to a point where there was non-human ribs found out there too. Yes, I am. Yeah, rebellious. Think about it. And not even the parents, Pointer lover. Not even the parents. Yes, they did, Barb, and I believe that. And I'm not saying I believe this, but I think we have to be open to all possibilities because of the fact that things are now. The FBI just got this letter. You have to remember. Apparently, the FBI just got this letter, according to Riley. It said that the Tampa Bay or the whatever FBI confiscated it today, along with a couple other things. Roberta's the one that wandered off the path. Yeah, Roberta's the one that wandered off the path and found it. Remember? She's the one. And again, I know not everything's a conspiracy, but I think it's important to throw some of these things out. I do think now that Dad was a complete go along and really had no idea. I can't say he had no idea, but Mom was the one that wandered off the path and found him and the belongings. Then she came out and got Dad. I know, Barb. Barb, you know what? I agree. And maybe she didn't, but I would hope not. Let's just hope not. It's very bizarre because now I remembered. Yep, Roberta was. And Barb, that's probably I would say he probably did it himself, but I think I don't know, something is just yeah, so do I, Cotton Candy. Is just weird. It's just weird because yes, now that I was thinking about it afterward, I was thinking, wait, it wasn't like Dad was there, but Mom left and wandered herself and then calls him where he then goes in. Yeah. It's so Oh no, Barb, I completely know. Hey, no. Barb, you're right. And you know what? It is like I said, it's completely far fetched. Um with her, her doing it, it is very odd in the manner of what she did it, I think. But, I'm sure that happens. Uh and I want your opinion. So this is good. This is good. But do you think there's a possibility she knew what he was going to do? Now that I do think there's a possibility. It's also been said that they were willing to trying to or by by the police, not yeah, from the Petito's lawyer, that they were planning on helping him get out of the country. But then, everything, I still can't. So my two questions for you guys is, do you think she knew what he was going to do? True, Punkette. And do you think Dad knew all of it, or if it was just Mom? It's bizarre to me, this letter from Roberta. Barb. It's bizarre. The letter is bizarre because of the timing of it. Like, why write a letter? Because the time that he was still in, the time that he killed Gabby to the time that he got back to Florida was just a matter of a couple days. So that would make me believe that, hey, LFT, okay, Pointer Lover, you think so? But I think she knew about Gabby but didn't want to draw attention when he left. That's possible, Amber Riot. You think they both knew? Okay. True, Punkette. I don't think Sister knew. What do you guys think about Sister? I think Brian and Mommy Dearest were very close. And I think Brian and his dad did not get along very well. And I think Mom wasn't Mom sick, or doesn't she have cancer or had cancer? Yeah, Punkette. Yeah, I agree, Amber. True, Pointer Lover. Oh, that's evident, rebellious. Yeah. I think Mom was willing to do anything for old Brian. Uh, and although she allegedly, according to Brian's letter, loved Gabby, uh, yeah, I don't know if that's true. Like that. Yeah. One cat. At first I thought, why are the Petitos going through this? But now that some of this stuff is coming out, and even Petito's lawyer is like, I have no idea what Bertolino was thinking releasing this, because it, if you, it's kind of like Facebook, right? Like, or YouTube. You can't possibly release this part of that letter and think that the Petitos aren't going to be like, all right, you want to do that? Here you go. Unless they figured, hey, Kathy, unless Bertolino thought, well, I have the letter, the FBI has the letter, you don't have the letter, so you're not going to even be able to speak on it or something. But hey, cool gamer, what is weird is that he says that all he's comfortable without the letter saying is that she offered to do some extreme things for Brian. And so it makes you wonder, okay, well, what are the things? Pointer Lover, absolutely. Yeah, so do I, Brittany. I think the poor sister was, well, I mean, I think, yeah, I think that her and the kids and her husband were not. Yeah, Brian was the golden child, and I don't think he did anything wrong. And I think that Gabby called his parents after that whole Moab thing, and I have a feeling that she was Punkette. I feel like she was gaslighted a lot. What do you guys think? Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying, Barb. When he said extreme things, that implied to me more than one thing. Like she was offering him several options. I understand wanting to do anything for your kids, but part of me feels bad because I think Brian thought it would be found first. Oh, Lana. Ah. Nope, not yet. So the letter Rebellious was written from her to Brian. It said, burn after, that was the outside of it. Because Pat Riley, the lawyer of the Petitos, was real ticked about the release of the journal. So he fired back and said, release all of it. From what I know, the FBI of Tampa or whatever confiscated the burn letter today, as well as a couple other things they said. And from what my understanding, according to the lawyer, all he was comfortable at this time saying was that it said things about Roberta being willing to do some extreme things for Brian. Apparently, it's alleged that it is undated. It is undated, but that they feel for certain it was between. Oh, is Lokamai in here? I didn't see her. Hey, Lokamai. In between Lokamai, amazing job on Sarah Gilpin's case. Amazing job. It's alleged that it was between Gabby's death and Brian's death, which naturally it's undated. I mean, if it was before Gabby's death, what kind of extreme things was she? Exactly, Barb. That's what I'm saying. Like, he said, the way he said, he was like, she was willing to do some extreme things. Lana, are you still here? That would just came out, Amber. Lana, do you think Brian thought who do you think they would, Brian thought they were going to find the letter first, or they weren't going to find the letter at all? Me too, Loka, my life. Hopefully she can heal now. Oh, oh. So y'all, so with this letter, she wasn't found yet. The van wasn't known about that. Got foot. Oh, gotcha. Oh, good point, Lana. Yes, it was Barb, but apparently it came from the van first into the laundry's home, then to the lawyer. Now, this is according to Petito's lawyer. Lana, can you do me a favor and look at the autopsy of Brian? I'm curious of your opinion on that. Yeah. It's so, oh, my question was, because I don't know the law that well. So say this letter says, Brian, and okay, so say if it comes back that they in fact did know. Oh, Lana. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Good point. If it comes back that they knew, can they be arrested or no? I've heard multiple things. Some people say yes, some people say no. I have the full report. They found a lot, including his, isn't like your coccyx sacrum? Isn't that like, you're down there area? Yeah, it was multiple fragments. However, they did go ahead and reconstruct it, and that's how they were able to tell the entrance exit wound. They found pretty much most of his stuff, but exactly, Lokamai. They found most of him scattered in multiple fragments, but in order to get a good ID, they had to reconstruct it. Yeah, and apparently this other confession, the hard part about the other confession is it's a computer and it's digital, so it'll be harder to prove that it was from him. And the story Riley said is similar but different. I would think so, Punkette. it really is awful because Gabby lived in their home for like a year, you know, and it's just really sad that, well, the whole situation is messed up. Yeah, Lana, oh, you're right. Well, yeah, Lana, because that makes sense because that was well before they searched. Good point. Good point, Lana. Good point. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because had he been found right away, you're right. A lot of that wouldn't have come out. That's a good point because it would have been over and it would have. That is a really good point. I know. That was what sad Pointer Lover. Yeah, I think if he would have been found right away. That's true, Lana. You're right. And so he probably did it in a location that he thought mom and dad would find them easily. And then it rained or whatever. They said the water got so high. I mean, they went and got his car and drove it home. It's just bizarre. Yeah, Lokamai. So, Lana, what do you think is the reasoning, though? Like, what are all your thoughts? We got a lot of true crime people in here. Hey, lovely lady, what is the reasoning do you think that Bertolino released it now? Oh, you're right, Lana. I didn't even think of that. True, Amber Riot. No one would have gone after his parents or anything because there would have been really no speculation. Because, I mean, the Petitos would have questioned it, obviously, because they wouldn't answer the phone, but still. I agree, Lana. Now, I did read one article. I have not been, and several people confirmed this, that they never released the full autopsy report for Gabby. And so if I've missed it, can somebody email me it? I've looked everywhere, but it did say there was evidence of blunt force trauma to the head and the neck. But I was reading like web sleuths, and I don't know if this, and somebody was commenting on how the fact, like, yeah, concussions, don't often disorient you to the point where you can't, like, even if he assisted her, it is not out. Okay. Um, you know, she could have made it because if you hit the front of your head, like, to be quite honest, the front of your head is the point that has the most skull. Oh, hey, Tia. Oh, LFT. That's read. Yeah. Yeah. Pointer lover for sure. Lori, did I say hi to you? Hi, Lori. Um, yeah. So, like, their lawyer was saying it doesn't even make sense, like his story of the falling in the creek. I am interested, though, about the rocks in the creek and why they took all that stuff, unless there was evidence. Now, I also read in one article said one of the investigators commented and said the positioning of her body could be considered remorseful, but it also could be considered cruel. And they tried to point out that strangulation in that matter is not usually done in like a pat, like it takes, like they said, 60 seconds to some, I can't even remember, to actually pass from, or longer than that. I can't remember, from strangulation. It's a very long process because you can pass out or go unconscious within 10 seconds. And then like seizures begin. And it's not a good death by any means. I mean, is there a good death? No. But yeah, so we should, I mean, that should be, I would think that would, I wonder why they haven't released an autopsy report. 4 to 6 minutes. Thanks, Lori. I knew it was really long. And they said your body could go through multiple things. Seizures, like all while you're like conscious or unconscious, but still all this stuff is happening to your body. And it's just, yeah, it's a really horrible way. Rebellious. He never really said at all, other than she asked for him to kill her because of her bump on her head. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've had 5 concussions. I bump my head on a frequent basis. Like, yeah, right. Exactly, Barb. And the other thing is, like, yeah, like these were not city kids, right? Like, yes, they lived in Florida, but these kids hiked all over. I'm sure Gabby bumped her head many times. How many little kids bump their heads all the time? And so, like their lawyer, like Riley was saying, the lawyer was saying, do you understand, like, tripping and falling and hitting your head? If she was from, okay, a lump in your head, it's going to swell. Like, that's just common knowledge. She wasn't vomiting. He never said anything about vomiting or anything like that, or having blurred vision. He said she was in pain. Like, those are signs of a brain bleed. You typically, yeah, she would have to, as I was reading articles, because you know how I am. She would have had to hit the front of her head very, very hard to cause the type of pain or injury that she had. Did she maybe have a headache? Sure. Yeah, right. Look, am I? Gabby didn't seem like the type to go out for, want to be taken alive for a head bump. They were, Lana, and they were pretty toxic for each other. They really were. I do think she was starting to realize that too. Right, Locomai, right. When you have like brain bleeds internally and stuff, you are very rarely, yeah, you are, yeah. Oh, yeah, Lori, I have that is left side temporal, which is behind your ear. Lana, me too. Me too. I think that actually tells a lot. I think you're 100%, because if it was one way, yeah, I agree. I agree, Lana. I really want to know more about that. I really want to know more about that. And yeah, there was probably a shock after. I mean, yeah, I really want to know more about that as well. Um, yeah, Lori, the wound where it is very. And his sister kept trying to say he's left-handed. I'm like, no, he's not left-handed. Yeah, Lori, that's really weird. because when I reread the dispatcher thing, it clearly said that he was yeah. Yep. I don't know, Lan. I think they said there is a digital device that the FBI has now with images or something like that on it. The letter that he allegedly, another letter he wrote, but also some other things. No, he's LFT. He attempted, but could only carry her so far. Dude, she was like 100 pounds soaking wet. But like Lana said, he never anticipated that, well, just where the van, the image of the van would be found by Red, White, and Bethune that close to, because we honestly would have had never, like it just, we wouldn't have had any idea had that not been caught, how far exactly the van was from where she was found. So his story would have been more believable. I think so, Lori. Yeah. At this point, Lori, I would check Roberta. She's probably hiding it in her bra or something. I really thought this case was a closed book, like cut and dry. He did it. Domestic violence, the end. Man, I felt sorry for them at one point. Oh, Pamela, for sure. 100%. But I mean, Lana's completely right. He never anticipated all this stuff coming out. And I don't think Roberta did either. And I would imagine, well, now, yeah, Barb, I would imagine that Roberta never thought this letter would be found. Yep, good point, Lana. That's true. Oh, for sure, decipher. Oh, yeah, definitely. I can't figure out if dad knew or not. That's the one I can't. I was wrong this whole time. I truly thought that dad and him, like, oh, yeah, Pamela, that's what we were talking about earlier. I truly thought that dad was the one that knew and mom was kind of innocent and all this stuff. And I was wrong. I was wrong. I also questioned, well, how sick was she? Or how, because she had cancer. Does she still have cancer? Was she is it really bad? So she was willing to risk anything for him? It's just. Oh, no, you're fine, Pamela. You're fine. It's crazy. Don't worry about replaying now, Pamela. But yeah, I'm pretty shocked, and I want to know what the extreme things are that she offered to do. Um, and apparently, it says that the FBI, if I understood it correctly, confiscated the letter today. So, did they like? How did they just find it today? Lana, do you still believe that that letter wasn't in the woods? Because I don't think it was either. Or it's just. Exactly, Lori. And remember, mom found him first. I mean, we've seen the video. She wanders off, and all of a sudden you hear her call, or you see her get dad. Yep. I think they do, Pamela. Oh, she is in remission? Okay, Pointer Lover. Wow, Punkette. Seriously? Well, yeah, not Steve, the lawyer, Riley lawyer said they have concrete evidence that they know, uh, that they knew, but I'm not sure, like, what that could be yet. Do you, Lori? It's just the first page of his letter gets me because of the way, unless he was just writing on his lap or something. I don't know. It's so weird. Yep, you're right, Amber, for sure. That's what Lana was saying. He never anticipated them, like with the mercy letter and stuff. He never anticipated that Red, White, and Bethune would catch the van, and turn then know how close the van was to where Gabby was found. And then in turn, people being able to say, dude, the van was like right there. You can't, like, and yeah. And like she said, he would have, been known as like, well, it was merciful, blah, 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 blah. And I never even thought about that. Red, White, and Bethune really put a wrench in some of his plan, I think. But I do think that ticket and that trip home is really important, because we have no idea what they talked about, and no one really even knows yet what he really went home for. Yep, exactly, Amber. Exactly. That's what I was thinking, Punkette. Wow, that's crazy. If you go to 411, it's called like 411, not missing 411, but 411 now. They have the entire PDF autopsy of Brian's, which is really cool. And that's where I kind of started to investigate and just tear that thing apart. Yeah. I want to know what Roberta. I think we're going to learn what Roberta's note said real soon. Well, so here's my last thing. If the FBI just confiscated that letter, they wouldn't confiscate it at all unless they were still investigating, correct? Wait a minute. Did Brian's autopsy report, did that come back inconclusive? I almost feel like I got to go back and look at it. This is how sorry guys, this is how my brain works when I'm in this research mode. This is what I just love doing. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Lori, and we know, I mean, those two hiked some really crazy mountains and things. Like, I'm sure she took many falls. If his autopsy, in fact, came back inconclusive, I'm really, yeah. Yeah, this is all. But yeah, I think the FBI would only take that letter if they were investigating it further, which would mean, in my opinion, that more charges charges against the Laundries could actually happen. I don't know the Florida law well enough. I'm going to have to start digging. Great. I'm going to be up all night now on this rabbit hole. Lana, if you're still in here, don't forget to look up Lisa Westbury case. Oh, well, I don't want to miss. I think Britt's going live too to talk about this. So her and Jen, I'm gonna let y'all get to that. You know me. I had to come on and talk this through because my brain's moving. Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, Thanks for talking to me. I didn't think the notepad with his letter looked like the notebook they originally found. Yeah, LFT. The whole thing was awkward and weird. But all right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye.